Here's a lab that's very flexible. This is the vulnerabilities lab where set up remote different types of remote access are set up, as well as IIS servers, several different operating systems. You can see here I have a network error. It's a real live error that came from the labs themselves. Here's an IP address conflict. This is a lot of the errors that you'll see working in the field, and this is a very hard error to duplicate um, on your own in your own labs there. So in this case here we actually have an IIS server set up on this Windows server, and I can access that server right here just by going to the particular computer address there, and I can pull up the IIS control panel there for Windows, just like you can in a real life environment, because again these are live servers, and that's pulling from this Windows server here. And you can see if I go here to my administrative tools, there's my IIS server there, and it's installed and running and accepting connections. From here there's a VNC viewer set up here. I can use remote desktop to access the Linux computer that's here. If I click connect and I put in my password, then I'm able to actually log into that particular device and pull and then work as though I was remotely accessing information, or if I could. And we can log right into that environment right from this computer, just like you would real life. And it's pulling from this particular device over here. So should something else happen and you need to correct it, you could go there. But then you can operate this as though you're remotely connected to there and use all of the resources of that particular computer. This one also has Linux command lines, several things. You can go through the spoofing of a DNS server, which is very hard to simulate in your classroom environment. Most classes and schools, colleges do not have the resources to be able to simulate this type of environment. So the only thing we can do is talk about it, or maybe show an example on the screen. We can't really give the students an environment to test. This is a great environment to test. Students can go through and use the Wireshark to pull network statistics. They can even attempt to connect to other devices through the PuTTY. There's so many different resources here, and you can configure your own labs with these devices to be able to create any type of an environment that you need to instruct with. You can even create your own environment to use on the whiteboard when you're teaching the classrooms. This platform is very flexible.